If you belong to a gym or tune into any health or fitness community, you've probably heard of the term counting macros.
Popularly used by people looking to shed weight or gain muscle mass, counting macronutrients or macros can help you reach various health goals. It entails keeping track of the calories and types of food you eat in order to achieve certain macronutrient goals.
Though counting macros is relatively simple, it can be kind of complex when you're just starting out.
In order to understand what macros are and how to count them, we first need to understand the basics of our body's utilization of food as energy. Energy that our body uses from the food we consume is measured in a unit we are all familiar with: calories. The more calories a food item provides, the more energy it potentially can provide to our bodies for utilization during exercise. These calories that are in food come from three primary sources, termed macronutrients. These can be split up into protein, carbs, and fats. The first of these three macronutrients is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates include sugars, starches, and fibers and are found in foods like grains, starchy vegetables, beans, dairy products, as well as fruits.
Many types of carbs get broken down into glucose or blood sugar, which your body either uses for immediate energy or stores as glycogen in the liver or muscles.
Carb intake is among the most hotly debated of all the macronutrient recommendations, but major health organizations suggest consuming 45 to 65% of your daily calories from carbs. Carbohydrates provide 4 calories per gram, meaning that a granola bar containing 15 grams of carbs will have 60 calories coming exclusively from those carbohydrates. The rest of the calories listed will come from the other two macronutrients, which we will discuss later. When examining the nutrition label on the back of that granola bar from earlier, we can see our next macro listed, fats. Fats have the most calories of all macronutrients per gram, providing 9 calories per gram, meaning that the granola bar from earlier has 3 grams of fat, providing 27 calories purely from the fat it contains.
Your body needs fat for essential functions like nutrient processing, hormone production, and body temperature maintenance.
Though typical macronutrient recommendations range for fats anywhere from 20 to 35% of total calories, many people find success following a diet higher in fat, like the keto diet, which I'll discuss in another video. Fats are found in foods like oils, butter, avocado, nuts, meat, and fatty fish.
Lastly, and one that gets a lot of attention, is protein.
Like carbs, protein provides 4 calories per gram. So doing the math again on that granola bar, we can see that its 12 grams of protein will give us 48 calories from the protein that it contains.
Proteins are vital for processes like cell signaling, immune function, building of bodily tissues, hormones, and enzymes.
Guidelines range, but it is generally recommended that proteins comprise 10 to 35% of your total calorie intake. However, this will vary depending on body composition, goals, age, health status, and more. Examples of protein-rich foods include eggs, meats like poultry, fish, as well as tofu and lentils.
So now that we know what macros are, how do we count them in a single food item? And how do we know how much of each to consume each day?
In order to calculate your overall calorie needs, you need to determine resting energy expenditure, REE, and non-resting energy expenditure, NREE.
REE refers to the amount of calories a person burns at rest, while NREE
indicates calories burned during activity and digestion. Adding REE and NREE gives you the total number of calories burned in a day, also known as total daily energy expenditure. Calculating these can be done through lab testing, but for those of us not lucky enough to have access to a nutrition or metabolic lab, there are easier ways to get a good estimate to begin with.
A common tool is a simple online calculator. Many of these tools use the Mifflin-St. Jeor equation, which I'll display here.
Feel free to pause here if you'd like to look at this further.
The end result gives you total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE.
Calories can either be added or subtracted from your total expenditure in order to reach different goals.
In other words, those trying to lose weight should consume fewer calories than they expend, while those looking to gain muscle mass should increase calories.
After determining how many calories to consume each day, the next step is to decide what macronutrient ratio works best for you. Typical macronutrient ratios suggest carbs being 45 to 60% of your total, fats being 20 to 35, and proteins being 10 to 35% of total calories.
So your ratio can be finely tuned to achieve your specific objective.
Next, it's time to start tracking your macros. The term tracking macros simply means logging the foods you eat on a website, app, or food journal.
The most convenient way to track macros is through an app, one like MyFitnessPal, Lose It, or My Macros Plus.
In addition, a digital food scale may help you track your macros. If you invest in one, weigh each food item you eat before logging it in your app of choice. Several apps feature a barcode scanner that will automatically input a serving of a scanned food into your macro log. You can also handwrite macros into a physical journal. The method depends on your personal preference.
Keep in mind it's not necessary to hit your macro target exactly. You can still meet your goals even if you're off by a few grams here or there. If you are unsure of where to get started, look to get in contact with a reputable registered dietitian or certified nutritionist who can help you along with your journey.
That's all for this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you like this kind of content or want more instructional videos in the future. Be sure to leave a comment below if you have any ideas or suggestions for videos for the future.